back to talking about.
So here's the thing.
I fucking hate...
No.
I fucking hate getting ghosted by BreadTube.
That's not the conversation that we're meant to be having here.
Oh my god, I've got more messages from Lindsay Ellis than Quentin Reviews did!
Beat us!
Regardless, before we get into the big meme, the thing that really irks me about the finale, let's talk about a little thing from early on that I've come to kind of realize as I've been rewatching the show. So, I really wish that we got more of an understanding of why Eve and Rex were ever even a couple. Because here's the thing. Rex is not an irredeemable, unlikable guy, even when he's at his worst, because, you know, he's like a funny dude. He's an asshole, but he's a funny dude. Yeah. And he, after the Kate situation, you realize it's a lot more than just him being an asshole. There's a lot more going on there. And I love that rooftop scene between the two of them when he's shooting the fireworks out and she's packing up her shit to get out. Mm-hmm. That scene is really fucking good. But before the cheating, before everything, I wish things were given more time to be fleshed out. So, for instance, the most we see from their connection is them kissing, and that's pretty much it. We don't really get a sense of why does this person like this person? What does she see in him? Because at the end of the day, Eve doesn't seem to have the same personality, and she the most that we see her react to the way that he jokes around is telling him to stop being an asshole. So what does she get out of it? What is the charm? What is the interest? Where does it come from? Because I can see a world where someone can find him funny. I mean, Monster Girl does, clearly. And I can see that. But it needs to be shown. It needs to be demonstrated, you know? And the other quick thing on that same point is I wish more time had been given between Mark and Eve before Rex just makes a decision to cheat on her and just say fuck it. I wish more time to build up the idea that he genuinely feels threatened or has that jealousy building up, because it feels very spur of the moment. It feels like it's like one conversation and one time when they came from school together. That's like all the build up that there is to it.
Well, I think that just it shows it's exemplary of the insecurities that Rex have, right? Mm-hmm. And the thing is when you're talking about a season 1 of a show that is going to have more, I don't know if it's so much of it's a sin that it doesn't have these things in season 1, but just a better choice to have room in season 2. You know what I mean?
Well, the problem is
because you're just leaving the door open for recontextualization, more time spent.
That's possible, but that doesn't leave season 1 of its issue.
No, but wait. You had your time. Uh-huh. See, the thing is we have a fully fleshed show. This is not a short season. This is not shortcut in any way. What we have is a very specific and like purposeful story of Mark and Omni-Man. You know what I mean? And we get other characters fleshed out and stories told, but you know, choices have to be made on exactly what. And we could go all day long where I'd be like, you know, why are Donald and Cecil so close? I would like to see that explored. I would like to see an example of why he means so much. Why would they say it was an honor to serve with you at the end, right? But you have to make these choices of, okay, if you want to have a fully fleshed out story with Mark and Omni-Man, what, you know, things can't we show? You know what I mean? We still have room and show more of that in season 2, but like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. The problem is that there's a big difference between Cecil and Donald and Eve. Eve is a pretty, as much as a side character can be a protagonist. She has a lot more going on. Her story is dependent on this loss of a relationship. So the problem is right, that that moment where she is breaking up with him, the weight of it is lost because you don't see the other half. You only see part of it.
There's no loss of weight.
No, there is.
You're not seeing the weight and the significance of these vignettes.
The problem. Stop. We're not. No.
It's true. It's true.
No, the problem.
You want
you're wrong.
You want
you're
a
wrong.
full Eve
wrong.
narrative. You want a full Rex narrative.
Yeah. Okay.
You can't have all this.
Okay. We're gonna.
Where does the time go? Where do you find the time?
I can think of a very. Now here's the thing. I understand that what I want requires more screen time. That's a given. Of course it does.
Just a couple more months and they could have made the animation
Shut the
better.
fuck
Just
up.
another...
That's
how many minutes of screen time and animation spent?
Even here's the thing. Even using the scenes they already have, you can make this better.
What do you cut?
You don't what you cut is the way that she reacts and interacts with him. So instead of having it always, the only like moment of like love and passion that they have for each other is making out. How about a moment where he cracks a joke and she laughs? Even that is more than they gave us, because at the end of the day, I need to know that the reason that these two like each other is not because this guy's hot and this girl's hot and that means fuck. It's more than, and it's clearly more than that, because they've known each other for long.
If they're gonna, yeah, and that's the thing. They have known each other for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, this is backstory, but again, it's a rabbit hole that you go down where it's just like, okay, well, why not get all these other characters' backstories? I could have the same complaint.
It's not. You're telling me
you want it from these two, but then why not everyone else?
But the problem is that if you want to tell this story of Eve having lost her relationship with Rex, lost her relationship with her parents, all of these things, you need that's an important part of it. That's like if you tried to tell me the story of Debbie, but then you took out all the scenes where she was like talking back to Omni-Man. It's like, well, you don't need it. At the end of the day, she's a side character. It's like,
what? No, that's what I'm saying. We have all those scenes.
That's the story.
Yes, but we have all those scenes. You know what I mean?
We have those scenes. Now give me some of that.
So more. How much more?
No.
How many more episodes do we need, Jesus?
Okay. You're not listening. You're not listening. It doesn't matter. If we're talking pragmatically.
This is utopian.
No, if we're talking pragmatically, then I don't fucking care. I'll concede it. I'll concede the point. Yeah, okay. If I can't add a single minute more, then fine.
Well,
whatever.
okay,
I don't care.
right.
But if we're talking like the value of the story as a whole, what it can be done to be better, then this is it.
Let's bring it down. Let's use good faith. Would it be a good story to see more between those two? Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Is what you're describing of the show indicative of a loss of like quality or star rating? I think not.
Yes, it is. That's the problem.
So wait, hold on. What is your score of this? If I'm a 99, what are you?
I'm a 95.
Okay. So it brings it down 5 points.
That particular thing? Yeah. No. That's not
okay, well, how much is that worth?
That one is worth maybe, because she's a side character. Yeah. This is like all nebulous, but a percentage or two around that.
So like 1 or 2?
It's like 1 or 2.
Okay, that's fair. That's fine. That's fine.
That's fine. You're fine.
But you see how I don't fucking scream about her fucking logo, which is literally worth 1?
Her logo is a visual.
Oh, you don't value visuals, Jesus? What the fuck are we talking about?
It's a story. Wait, what?
Visuals tell stories.
Yes, they do tell stories, and they're valuable. However, when you're evaluating a story, if you tell me, oh, in this one scene, in the background of Lord of the Rings...
It's not the background, it's their fucking costume!
Okay, let me make my fucking point. if you look at this one scene in Lord of the Rings, you could see a car in the background. I think I would have to bring it 10 points down for that one.
Okay, that's Braveheart, not Lord of the Rings. And
no, it is Lord of the Rings. I am correct. You are wrong.
Okay, well, it's also in Braveheart.
That's great.
Okay,
but don't fucking correct me
the
when
picture.
I know him.
Find me the picture,
I will.
and I'll
put it up.
Yeah,
you'll put it up right here.
It's also in Braveheart. It's also in Braveheart.
That's nice.
Yeah.
You can put both of them up side by side.
Race them. Race these cars.
Yeah.
Now, wait,
and then you can put the little coffee cup from Starbucks in Game of Thrones season 8. Wow, look at that cool coffee cup.
It's not in there.
It is.
No,
it's been removed now, but it was in there. When it aired, it was. Yep, I'm right. And a water bottle, too, by Sam's Leg. I remember that one, too.
Gone.
Yeah, now, not then.
Okay, so here's the thing. To show how facetious Jesus is, I will say this. If you have a character who, like Adam Eve is supposed to, like, it's supposed to be a positive form of femininity, right? Her logo?
Sure.
And it looks like an X through the female logo. It's kind of a fucking problem.
So
wait. Let me finish.
I don't disagree with you.
Wait, let me finish.
Fine.
If you have a Jewish superhero and it looks like a swastika on their logo, it's kind of a fucking problem. And it's not equivalent to fucking cars in the background of movies. Jesus, that is facetious.
So the thing is, I don't necessarily disagree with this.
Yeah.
But I don't think that Adam Eve, the integral part of her story, is her femininity. I think that ultimately,
an X through it is kind of like it's worth a % being knocked off.
I don't necessarily disagree with that. I mean, if you want to tell me that I have to go from my 95 rating to 94, that's fine. I'll do it, brother. No, I don't give a fuck. I'll give that to you. But the thing, no. Let me. Excuse me, sir. Let me finish. Okay.
I'm speaking.
The point I'm trying to make is that if she was like if her entire brand was built around like I'm a feminist superhero,
well, no.
then yeah, that would be like a really fucking weird thing. But the thing is, her femininity is a part of her in that she's Eve, and that's like, and Adam is the other half of that, Adam Eve. Yeah. Which is a really clever name, by the way.
It is until you put an X instead of the atomic symbol.
Yes, I don't disagree with you.
Yeah, no,
but I don't think it's as insane as you're making out.
It's just a 1. I'm not insane. I'm not taking 2 off.
Yeah, that your
because my
description
2
of
side
it is
characters don't have more screen time. And
excuse me, I'm trying to tell good stories here. Okay,
I'm trying.
Sorry, you're not.
I'm also. I know. Visual storytelling.
You're trying to tell succinct stories where person shows up in the door. Time skip, they're married. Wow, great story. That's what you're trying to tell me.
No.
I want to see that.
You are degrading. You are talking down. You are condescending towards visual storytelling and the power of vignettes. Oh my god. The miscarriage in Up has no weight because we didn't see him fuck first. That is what you're saying, Jimmy.
That is not what I'm saying.
You have no respect for vignettes.
Okay, that's a great example. Imagine Up. But instead of having all those scenes,
you want him to fuck.
No, imagine all those.
Why didn't they fuck?
Imagine all those scenes, right? Where they got along and they had a happy marriage. Just cut all that. You don't need it.
No, you want more.
You don't need it.
You want more.
Just
Jesus
tell
wants
me that
more.
they're in love.
Jesus wants to see him
propose. Just tell me that they're married.
Jesus wants
Who
him to
cares?
propose.
We don't need to show
to see
it.
him fuck.
No, I don't want to see anyone fuck. I want to see
except
people...
for William and Omni-Man.
No, it's especially not them. But the point is that if you add more, it makes the story stronger. It just does. And that's my problem. That the story lacks as a result of this missing piece. That if you don't show me the reason that Adam and Eve liked him, then it leaves you with a situation where it's like, well, I don't know why you liked him at all ever. Because you didn't, there was nothing shown.
If you add more, you make the story better.
But that's...
Let me finish. If you add more to The Amazing Spider-Man 2 by adding the scenes of Peter's dad coming back to life, it makes it better.
Those scenes have to be...
is better.
No, those scenes have to be good.
See how frustrating it is when you pull something out of your ass?
Yeah,
and you
I do see.
Things?
I see. That's what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
You're pulling things out of your ass.
It's a mirror.
No,
it's
not.
Doing.
I'm telling you.
Calling her fucking logo a car in the background of a movie.
The point is that if you have that missing
1%
element,
and 2%, this is fucking meaningless. Like, what is the other fucking 3%?
Yeah,
is Mark
3%.
and Amber.
Three or four.
Okay. Let's move on to that.
Okay. Well, I mean, if you're not gonna fight this, I guess.
It's just like no. That's what you find value. I find value in her.
We've laid out our arguments. It's up for the audience to decide.
I don't give a fuck what they decide. I know on my empirical list that her logo is worth 1%, and that brings it to a 99.
But this missing element of her story with Rex, that's worth 0 for you. It just because it's a vignette. It's enough.
Yeah.
That's what you're telling me.
Yeah, I mean, in the purpose of the narrative, I think in an alternate timeline, if they had focused it more on them and they cut down on Mark and Omni-Man, it could be an equally 99 show because they would still have that fucking logo problem, right? But it's a tug and pull. I mean, if you wanted to explore them more, you could. You would just have to take away from Omni-Man and Mark. But I'm fine that they didn't.
No, let me ask you something.
Oh.
Let's go to Utopia world, okay? This is the perfect utopian world. I know you hate utopias, but we're going there for like 2 minutes, okay? Let me ask you something. If there was a version of this show that added what I want, right?
Yeah.
But didn't take anything away. Everything's the same. It's just added that. Would you say that it is better or worse? Would you say that it's better because it fleshes it out more, or would you say it's worse because now it feels bloated and it didn't need it? What would you say?
Well, I wouldn't say it's bloated, depending on the hypothetical of how it was actually implemented.
Let's say it is the ideal version of that scene.
Okay,
those scenes that I want.
In Jesus'
it's Utopia world.
Jesus,
that's where we're going.
Jesus is very loaded and
It's
begging of the question.
No. This gets at the root of the problem. Because my question is, what I'm asking you basically is the show like
with all perfect conditions made perfectly going to be a perfect show?
No.
That's what he's saying.
That's not the point.
He's a madman.
What I'm trying to get at is what you see on the screen in this version of the show, because you say that what I'm asking for is unnecessary because we already get enough of that story. Like, we have enough to tell that story. That's what you're telling me.
Okay.
So if I add this version of the scene, it will have been unnecessary, and therefore something that if you were given the power to edit the show in this perfect world, you would say, oh, you don't need those scenes. Cut them out. We'll make it more succinct.
No, I think it could be a conversation. It would be a very interesting thing to watch two side by side. I think what you're describing to me is like when I watch a Dark Knight trilogy, that's 100%, right? Mm-hmm. Now, I wonder to myself, it would be cool if you had Harvey Dent as an attorney in the first movie as like a bridger, you know what I mean? But it doesn't necessarily take away, but I could see how that, like you're saying, it could be better. But mathematically, it doesn't take away. I think it just transcends into the 101.
You're talking about something a little bit different though, because you're talking about the quality of like the trilogy, not the quality of an individual movie. I'm talking about adding. What is
a trilogy if not a season?
Sure,
just episodes.
I don't necessarily disagree with that,
yeah.
But what I'm trying to get at is that if you add, let's say, like more details into how Harvey Dent and Rachel got together, and you see them build a relationship, and that's just like interplayed through the movie.
Yeah.
Do you not think that would actually take away, because it pulls the focus out from what the story is meant to be telling?
No, because I think
like if it was like just like a rom-com,
no, not a rom-com. No, Jesus, don't be facetious. I'm telling you, if you're like perfect world, if there's a perfect world, a utopian world where all the conditions are perfect and it would be implemented perfectly, because that's how Jesus describes his situation. I think that showing Rachel, having her more fleshed out in Batman Begins, could, as you're saying for Invincible, make for a better movie. But I don't think that makes Batman Begins as it is any less than 100%.
Okay, but I'm talking about specifically The Dark Knight.
No, I'm talking about Batman Begins. He's in The Dark Knight. I don't give a fuck. I'm talking about Batman Begins.
Yes, but what I'm talking about adding is scenes building up their relationship, which is not in The Dark Knight. No. What
I'm saying is you start that process in Batman Begins.
Well, she's dating Batman in Batman Begins. That wouldn't work.
I don't think she is dating Batman.
They have an on and off again. They have yes, they do, because at the end she makes a decision to leave it, to say
it's because
I'm done.
What I'm saying is I want to show, because Bruce and Rachel have feelings for one another.
Yes.
But I want to show Rachel in a more fleshed out light. Show her more at work. Show her interact with Harvey. Show that there's a life outside of Bruce for her. You know what I mean? And I'm saying that by having all this, it is exactly what you're describing with Adam and Eve.
It's not.
How?
Because, okay.
Wait, what?
So,
How?
I'm going to the Dark Knight, because that's what I'm trying to focus on here.
This is my analogy.
Because the Dark Knight is a single film. It's meant to be... It's a part of a trilogy, sure, but it is its own story, right?
That's a part of a trilogy.
Yes. The point is, if you add more to make Rachel and Harvey's relationship feel more fleshed out, I believe that the Dark Knight would be more bloated, and that would be unnecessary.
But what if it was done perfectly?
Even if a scene is perfect, if it diverts away from the overall story or makes it feel bloated, then I don't want it, and I think it should be cut.
Okay, well, you are just steering the conversation to an area of it. Yeah, I honestly wouldn't be touching the Dark Knight. I think by going to Batman Begins, a shorter movie, and adding scenes of them interacting, showing Rachel as a more fleshed out character, interacting with Harvey Dent, showing that she had a life outside of Bruce.
The reason I'm going to the Dark Knight is because
you know I'm right.
No, it's because I'm more familiar with the Dark Knight, because I've watched Batman Begins in like fucking 7 years, and I watched the Dark Knight with you more recently than that.
Shame.
One
does not watch the Dark Knight.
Because I don't remember
Begins,
how
Dark
tight
Knight.
the Batman Begins is, but I do remember how tight the Dark Knight is. I know.
Dark Knight's tighter. That's why it's a better movie.
Yes,
but all three of these movies are incredibly tight.
Okay, that's regardless. I think it would be almost bad faith for me to attempt to tell you something about the Batman Begins because I haven't seen it in 7 years. I don't remember enough. I don't know.
Fucking quitter. So
that's why I was taking to the Dark Knight. I'm telling you that story is tight. It's well constructed. It's strong. It doesn't need this to tell the story that it's trying to tell. But I think that adding that spark, that interest, that beyond just making out in front of Mark, that I believe that those scenes would make Invincible and specifically Eve and Rex's relationship more powerful, and then the breakup even more so. It's like multiplicative.
Yeah. Take a leap of faith and believe me. If you did all this with Rachel and Batman Begins, it would make it more. I agree with you.
My point is that it's not necessary for that story.
No, I think it is.
It's not.
Well, not necessary. Necessary is the wrong word, but I think you could expound.
That's what I'm arguing for, though. I think it is necessary in Invincible.
What is necessary in art, though? You know what I mean? I feel like, look, if I paint a house and I put a tree next to it, you know, is it necessary? I don't know. I think it's up to the individual person, and I respect your 95.
95.
Okay, so I respect your 95 because like what's important to an individual person is like defined by that individual person, right? So if I drew a house and a tree, and you drew a house that's just a house, I really find value in that tree, but you didn't. And I would rate that 100, and you'd rate that 100. You know what I mean? And that's chill. Like, I understand that's important to you.
I understand what you're trying to say. But what I'm trying to tell you is that what I'm trying to tell you is that if you drew a family of 5 people, right? There's a mom and 3 kids, right? Yeah. And you told me this is a picture of a happy family, but none of them are smiling. I'd look at you and I'd be like, wait, isn't it missing that element of a happy family?
I would disagree. You don't need to smile to be happy.
Sure, you don't have to. But if all of them are frowning, then how is it a picture of a happy family?
Could be satire. Could be commentary. Okay. Could be a metaphor.
Okay, if you told
very metaphorical.
Let me ask you something. If this painting, and you drew it because you were trying to tell me this is a happy family. Yeah. These are really happy people. But you are missing that element. There's a universal signifier for what happiness looks like. You can even draw like a rainbow and flowers.
It just doesn't.
But there needs to be something to show that element is there, because otherwise you're telling me this is a family. Maybe they're even sad. The opposite of what you're intending. If I'm telling you.
If the show Invincible,
it's missing.
If the show Invincible was saying, it needs to like if the show Invincible is trying to say that this is the love story of these two. Like, yeah, I'd agree, but...
No, what it's trying to tell me is that these two people are in love, but it didn't show me that. It didn't show me that. That's
in
my
love.
problem.
I mean, that's a bit
okay.
I mean,
they like each other and have known each other for so long and have been dating for so long that they're actually like, it's a big loss. That's a big part of her story, right. The loss of this relationship, and therefore you have to show me that they actually get along, that they're a couple. They're more than just we fuck every once in a while. It's more than that. You know,
because the show shows us them fucking so much.
Maybe they could cut down on them. It fucking. Shows them making out, and that is the
how many seconds of screen time is lost by them making out, Jesus.
I don't want them to cut. I'm not telling them to cut out the making out.
That's
I'm
right. That's right.
To add more.
Yeah. All the millions of dollars spent on more animation. You fucking utopian.
Okay.
Yeah, but like you asked me like maybe 10 minutes ago if it could be better than what I have now if they added into stuff. And I think it's very like Watchmen, Ultimate Cut, or other extended versions. Like, yeah, it could be better, but I what I'm saying is, as it is, I think it's a 99. You know what I mean? But a better thing. It could be more. You know what I mean?
I guess.
They can both be on 99 and just be above the other.
What I'm trying to lay out is that I think that it is, and I'm not talking quality. I'm just making a comparison. But it is theatrical Batman vs Superman versus Ultimate Cut. It is those that cutting what they cut realistically doesn't change everything in the story, and not everything is impacted. But there are areas that are made worse, or even if it's minorly, even if it's by minutiae, by little percentages, by here and there, or even not a percentage at all, maybe not even. And that's what I'm trying to argue.
No,
that the story is made worse because you cut things where you thought it wasn't necessary.
No.
Yes.
No. Well,
that's
I'm not cutting anything. It doesn't exist.
No, it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist.
You're getting hung up on semantics right now.
The Eve Rex cut doesn't exist.
You didn't actually stop the phone's recording.
Well, fucking do something.
Fucking bitch.